get started. What is going on, people of the world out there? You ready to start this? Unfortunately, I have to reset the game completely, so all this information you see is gonna go blank in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I wish Carrington were here so he could pronounce the title correct. No. It's Xbox One. This game would actually be really good on VR. Because I mentioned someone else that had played through it, and out of all the games, you know, like first-person experiences, I think this and like Gone Home and shoot, what's the one they just did? The creators from Gone Home. Oh, I can't remember the name of the game, but these first-person experience games would be really good.
Going to make sense to you.
VR.
And I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning with the house.
It's a pretty tall house.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
This is the prequel to COD
Maybe she
Ghosts.
thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Is there a run button? There should be. Oh, alright, that's not it.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
This part reminds me of Slender, kind of. I don't know why. Just this whole intro. Without the dialogue.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
Yeah, it's the one that blasts down the door so I can get in easier.
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Maybe this is the uh, prequel to Destiny. Keep press that button. There's got to be a run button. I guess not. Oh my gosh. You are so right.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Dead body? Nothing. There's something in there. Looks like a beer can.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one. Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Louis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Those books look fake.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
About this. Oh.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
It's kind of creepy. I feel like this game should be a horror type game.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
That woman has a mullet. I'm sorry, but that is a true mullet. Party in the front, business in the back. Oh, hold on.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing
Business
everyone
in the front,
but sparing
party in the back.
furniture.
I guess we'll go upstairs. That's a lot of salmon. Just gonna ride that.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Edie. So I can't get into any of those. Oh, here we go.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
Come on. Barb. What's this?
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Here we go.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Louis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Until now.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this this was gonna lead.
That doesn't open.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
What do I do here?
I got the
Oh,
sense
here we go.
Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
It's Molly. Is there a picture of her in here?
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Is this open?
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
What a jerk.
My
Probably out there
Halloween
smoking,
candy was
drinking.
all gone.
Aha. Oh, come on. It's sushi, pretty much.
I kept eating and eating.
Ooh.
I ate a lot of things that night. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
I can do it. Wait. There we go. I'm gonna get you.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
A little creepy looking.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Can't look up. There we go.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Pretty sure I hit that tree.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
What the world? I think I'm really controlling this. Yep. Yep. Wee.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever.
A sea lion? Is that a fish? It is a sea lion.
I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Seal. Alright, well, there you go.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Where'd she go? Where's the blood? There we go. Whoa. I hate to tell you, but their flipper's still on there.
Grabbed on
There we go.
tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
My octopus? Yep.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled
monster.
people everywhere.
Go under the car? This car. That. Yep. It's pretty awesome.
I was big, but I moved
There we go.
real quiet.
You gonna get it, mister. And you got it.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
I think you are drunk.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Does this come out of a toilet? Yep. Oh my goodness. Oh. I'm gonna start peeing outside for the rest of the night.
I got closer and closer.
You're the light.
All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
was one of the only ones I didn't really get in this game, because it goes through how
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
how each individual in our family tree, you know, passes away. But that doesn't really talk about it much.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
And all of our animals were dead.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Her room was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Looks like their house.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
I wonder if some of these people are
Whatever's wrong
from
with
the
this
dev team.
family, it goes
Maybe
back
they
a long ways.
modeled some of these characters off people who created the game. So Steve and E. Go there.
Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Oh, this is my grandparents' bathroom. Great mirror. Looks like it works nicely.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Huh. Hello.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Black room. Or dark room, whatever you call it. What do photographers call that?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it.
Control each leg.
My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again,
Can I turn myself?
and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
Such a jerk to Molly.
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Let's try to go around the tree.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Well, this is going around. I bet you can do it right now. Oh my goodness. I bet you I can do it. Yeah.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room.
That stinks. 61 he died.
Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again. The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Oh, gotta go straight. Is that a monster? Let's just lock this. So I think this goes out the main area. Leave that there.
Growing up,
Barbara.
I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Record player.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing
That's
frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box.
Did I reach for it? I did. Never mind. I was gonna say, I wonder if I can beat this
And
quicker.
as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
This is so cool.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
There's some kind of licensing to get this music. Shut this. Yeah. The night the laundry got massacred. That's creepy.
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
That's terrible.
Old Finch rattled and grew still.
Oh dear!
Take that, you jerk.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Unless you're already dead. kind of want one of those for the house. Alright. Oh, you know those would break. Gotcha.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Uh-oh.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man,
And
and
scream.
was speechless.
What?
He was
It's
quite
fine.
smashing.
Get out of here. Dr. Hook hand.
He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
First of all, this is
Okay, Barbara,
inappropriate.
there's gotta be another way out of here.
This is creepy as all get out. Get out of here. Alright.
That night, she played her part beautifully.
Molly's room. Maybe she's a cat. She can help me.
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned.
Sure you can hear that. Yep. See you later. Peace out.
He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
So let's go really slow. Down the stairs. Oh my goodness. Come on. Faster. See her. Okay, really? Do you really want me to go out there? And he's gone.
The hookman had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was...
What if I go? Everybody walks so slow.
Someone at the door was dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she
There we
heard
go.
whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Now scream. Oh my gosh.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she
real.
realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life.
They real monsters? Yep. Oh my goodness.
I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard. But
So-
that's another story.
For
As for
another time.
Barbara,
Oh.
tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Ew.
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh boy.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
It was actually pretty awesome. So let's go back in here.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
It'd be sweet if some con replicated this house for people to go through.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
So I wonder if I go down here. Can I turn this music box if I can go in the basement? Yeah, I think we know what time it is. I'm gonna keep turning it. Yep. So I wonder if I could use that and skip ahead in the story. I played through it now. Creepy basement. There's the laundry I took out. Sven's room.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Hard to see.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
It's pretty sweet. This reminds me of what's the game or the movie?
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
Cloverfield sequel.
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
Open.
Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Yep, here we go.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Just waste that out there. Probably the Brotherhood of Steel.
Even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly.
Yeah, this is just like 10 Cloverfield Lane.
And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe you got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
What's back there? Is there anything else?
I know it's out there, somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara.
Yeah, those monsters.
And Molly.
Yeah. That branch. Or shark.
And Calvin.
It's waste.
Maybe this is all a mistake.
I don't think so.
But I need to stop living the same day. Even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one more day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
And you got wrecked.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Spices.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
That's what was behind there.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
Mole
I
rat.
can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made. Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe 2, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem.
Yeah, but they're pretty good stories.
Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Huh. Oh, here we go.
I don't know if I should even be writing this.
I love the dialogue. Definitely one of the cooler things of this game.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
I think we'll probably end up stopping before we get to the next family member. I think we're getting close to it. Pick back up on it next week.
And when you look at the house, it had that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness.
Awesomeness.
Any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Good night.
3 of the gerbils are mine, and
Zerpy, Lurpy, Furpy, Chirpy, Burpy, Derpy Jr.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Holly, Calvin, Sven, Edie, Walter, Barbara. So we still have Edie. We still have a bit to go.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
That's pretty awesome.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from.
So Sam, boy.
Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
If Jen was doing this, I would be appalled. Or if she did this while she was pregnant.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common.
Yeah, like they both died. Sorry, that might have been dark.
They were pretty intense.
Sit. Here we go. I'm gonna stop off here. Thanks for everyone that watched. Be sure to check us out on Twitter, RealDudes_pod. If you want to listen to the podcast, you can find us on iTunes at Real Dudes Podcast, Podbean, Real Dudes Podcast, Facebook, Real Dudes Podcast, Instagram, Real Dudes Podcast. Yeah. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at realdudespod@gmail.com. Other than that, I hope you all have a rad day.